Hello and welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
Mine is Ash.
And today we want to try something different. Before we started this podcast, Ash was talking to me about putting together a formula and coming up with a plan to do things. And I was kind of like, no, I want it to just flow. I want to figure it out as we go along and eventually we'll get segments and shit like that. And then, for some reason, I was the one that got massively into planning it, and I think at some point I started over-planning things.
Yeah.
I've been listening to our podcast at work recently, and I've realised, like, talking about the same subject for over an hour, it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Like, I lose interest pretty quickly. And a lot of the podcasts that I listen to do cover a range of subjects over one episode, so we're going to try and do that. We're going to just shoot the shit. This is sort of a test episode, so we'll see how that goes.
Wing it.
But yeah,
Going off script.
We'll wing it.
Great start.
Yeah, we're also going to do away with the creative challenge for now. Partly because we don't actually have a following at this point in time, so nobody's actually doing them.
Purely just for us.
And yeah, partly because with no planning ahead of time, I can't plan a subject and then I can't plan what the creative challenge at the end would be. So we'll just get rid of that for now. If people want it in the future, then we can bring it back. That won't be too much of a problem.
We should still emphasise that if people are working on stuff while listening to this, we still want to see it.
Yeah. Also, in order for us to realistically bring out an episode each week, when we live so far apart and we have jobs and we have busy lives, we do pre-record a lot of these. And I know it's bad podcasting etiquette to give away that your episodes are pre-recorded, but I reckon we'll probably be talking about a lot of things that are current. And then by the time the podcast comes out, people will be like, why are you talking about that? It happened a month ago. So,
yeah.
That'll... That was just to cover our asses, basically. just to get that out there, just so people know. Plus, there's something I want to talk about that I found out today that I don't know if you know about it, but I think we need to talk about it.
So. Go for it. You want to talk about it now, or...?
Yeah, let's start off with that. Right, okay. I have my phone, so I'll just cover my ass while I Google what I'm looking for. So I found this thing today. Apparently... This woman went on to a morning show that we have in England.
Is it like Good Morning? Or
yep, that is exactly... No, this morning.
This morning, that's it. I don't watch TV in the morning.
So this girl went on who identifies as a black woman.
Is she black?
No, she's not.
She just identifies as a black woman?
Yeah. So... Oh, I was trying to find a picture of her white first so that I could be like, this is her white, but there isn't one on here. So I'll just cover the black one. That's her when she's white.
Okay.
Before she decided she was a black woman. Okay, and her as a black woman is... It just looks like a white person in a black face.
That is massively offensive. Did she make her boobs bigger?
I think so. No, there's a picture later, mate. It's ridiculous. So, if you want to Google this, just so you're up to speed with us, her name is Martina Big.
Ah.
The notorious B.I.G. She looks disgusting as a fake black woman.
She looks disgusting as a white person too.
She has tanning injections and spends clearly way too long on the tanning bed to keep her complexion like that, which is a lot of time to dedicate to something. I mean, if you feel like you're a black person, you can, like, I don't know, you'll offend a lot of people, but you can identify as one without putting, like, 8 hours a day into a tanning bed.
I don't think you can identify as one. That's fucking stupid.
How does that work? Like, she must have been like...
This is how it works. I identify as a banana.
I can see that.
This is just how it works.
Yeah, so this is her on the show.
she's made her boobs bigger, right?
She's made her boobs massively bigger. I'm not sure if that's part of it.
It's like racism on a new level.
It is...
it's like backhanded racism.
This picture of the host kind of sums it up.
Holly Willy. Willy Booby.
Holly Willy Booby. Yeah. what is it? Philip Schofield, just head in hands.
Fucking hell, mate.
It is pretty awful, isn't it? So the whole thing was she came on here to say that she wanted surgery to get a black nose, but was denied it. So I guess she wanted, I don't know, I haven't watched the video or anything, but I'm assuming she wanted to speak out about that and like try and raise awareness that she needs a black nose. and it, I guess it turned into this whole thing.
What would the hashtag be for that, like?
Oh no, she's permanently black now. She's had 3 tanning injections. Wait, what kind of doctor just went out?
The kind of doctor who says, yes, I will take your money.
Yeah.
She's gross, mate.
Yeah, that's a really...
She looks shit as a white person. She looks shit as a black person.
I mean, as a white person, she doesn't look awful. She looks... I don't know how old this picture is, but she looks...
You'd do her.
90s.
You'd smash.
No, I don't... Would you?
I want to smash now.
No.
Maybe when she's black. She's got the badonkadonk.
This picture has the caption, I was born white, but I prefer being black. Oh, I can't believe things have got this far. 2017.
I'm just going to fuck with people now, mate. I identify as a Vietnamese 12-year-old boy.
No, there are people who identify as different ages.
You can't.
No, I've seen pictures of like 20-year-olds who like made themselves look older. They dye their hair white and like have surgery that makes the skin wrinkle up.
Just wait 20 years.
I know. It's funny because they'll get to like 40 and they'll be like, oh, I identify as a 20-year-old.
Fuck me, mate. What happens if they get to the 40 and like, do you know what? I identify as a 60-year-old now.
But if you have like surgery to make your face look older, what happens when you get older?
You look gross.
Do you just look like a nutsack?
It's so simple. Wait 20 years whilst also drinking and smoking as much as you can. It will fuck your face up before you reach 40.
Yep.
Sunbathe. Did you ever see that? There was a series of photographs that a photographer took of people who drive trucks, you know, like long haulage truckers, but they're always driving in the exact same route in the same direction.
Yeah,
and
so they always have the sun on them.
The sun's always hitting one side of the face, and there's a picture of him on the side of the face that doesn't get sun, and the skin's all nice and elasticated and beautiful, and then this other side, it's all haggard and fucked up, mate. It's all wrinkly and disgusting.
What?
Because it's obviously radiation, isn't it? It's fucking fucks the skin up.
That's crazy.
So just, I don't know, stay outside in the sun for a few hours every day. 10 years go by and you look like you're 50. Fucking people who identify as shit, mate. It's
getting out of hand a little. I think everybody can, except this woman, can agree that she's kind of crossed the line with that. That's a bit.
Do you know what? I bet she goes to bed at night and she's all like, I've crossed the line, but I can't stop now because people think I'm a tool. I've got to live up to it.
Yeah.
She probably cornered herself. But I used to say when I was a teenager that I didn't want to live on Earth anymore because I was edgy. But now it's so true. I don't want to be here. I want to be like Dr. Manhattan and go live on Mars or something. You know, build my own fucking crystal palace.
Apparently Elon Musk has big plans for colonizing Mars, and he'll be able to do it in the next like fucking 5 years or something.
Yeah, I read the things that will happen on Earth by like 2050 or something like that, and he's planning to go
2050. That's when Halo was set.
Yeah, I think in either next year or
was it 2005?
2020, his company SpaceX
that's
are gonna launch the ascent, you know, the equipment and get up to Mars first because that's how it works,
and then send the people,
and then like a few years later, people will be going up.
I wonder if they can like automate some.
I hope they're not sending Matt Damon. It didn't work out last time.
I mean, there's self-building robots and shit, so I'm sure you can do that on a big scale with like containers to like build themselves into housing units.
Maybe.
I suppose if anybody can do it, Elon Musk will figure that shit out.
Yeah, he's got the money to throw at it. But I suppose they probably designed them so that they're modular anyway. It'll be so simple as just to get the people landing on Mars, and then within a few hours they've built the habitat.
Yeah, well, that's how it was in Mass Effect.
Modular. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Did you hear that Russia's got plans to go to the moon by like 2027? So like, mate, It's so late.
The moon?
What's left on the
We've
moon?
not already been on the moon.
Not Russia, I don't think.
They didn't make it. Wasn't that the whole thing? With
NASA
the...
have. I think Russian
Did you say NASA?
No, NASA.
You just
is-
revealing a conspiracy.
It's not a conspiracy, mate. All of the German scientists from World War One went and built NASA up.
Really?
You don't know that?
No, I didn't know.
All their whole fucking like Jewish scientists all fled, obviously westwards towards America, and then Einstein was Jewish. Oppenheimer, that's his name, right? Oppenheimer. Anyway, the fucking Jewish built the atomic bomb, mate, that blew up Japan. And then obviously when the war was over and we'd fucked the Nazis up, it was all like, yeah, just we'll give you asylum in the West, and then they built the space program, NASA. Look it up, mate.
I will.
That's probably why it works so well for America. Because they've got European scientists.
Yeah. There's a film, I think it came out recently, about women in NASA.
Black women in NASA.
Yeah. I've heard that's pretty good.
I've not seen it all, but
It reminds me of... I don't know why it reminds me of that. Maybe there's a similar actor, but it reminds me of... I can't remember what the film's called. The Help.
The Help.
You eating shit!
Yeah.
That's a really good film.
A brilliant film. I love it so much. I don't know. I found a trend where I like films where about like how harsh racism got. American History X, prime example. Yeah. And then The Help, and then this was it Hidden Figures or something like that. It's called.
I don't know.
About the black women in NASA. It's something like that because obviously they weren't. Like racism was supposed to be over by then, but it was still very much there. It was like casual, systemic sort of racism where it was just built into everything, and no one thought about it. And they obviously they were quite pivotal in a lot of things. You should give it a watch. It's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. You've seen it? Oh.
I kind of like came into it halfway through.
Oh, your parents were watching it,
so I didn't watch it all. But what I saw was pretty decent.
Cool.
I enjoyed it. Maybe want to like time travel back there and be all like, just the skin is black, so fucking what? These women are smart as shit. Let them do some stuff. Other than, I think where it started off is like they had jobs where they were like just copying, on typewriters.
Okay.
And I think obviously they all wanted to do some more stuff because they were all really intelligent. They knew a lot about maths and science and stuff. And eventually they didn't manage to get to that point.
So presumably when they were copying down information from the scientists, they were finding loopholes and figuring shit out.
Women have always had a hard time in science, though.
Yeah, I'd say they still do in some aspects.
There's a really cool episode of... Did you ever watch Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos series?
No, I keep meaning to.
You should watch it.
I really want to watch it. Like, that's like my favourite thing. Space.
Well, there was an episode where we were talking about this scientist whose name I forgot, who employed a room filled with women. He found a way to look at distant planets and identify what their atmosphere was made up of. Yeah. And he hired a bunch of women to sift through all these planets, planet data and stuff like that, and mark which ones could potentially have atmospheres and the other ones that didn't. And it was a really good job for them and stuff like that. But the women got shunned a lot by all the other male scientists. Yeah. Which was really awful. This was like way before like women could have like their own lives and shit. They were still expected to be housewives and shit like that. But it was a really good episode. I recommend that one. In fact, I recommend the whole series. It's fun. I've watched it at least 5 times.
All right. Well, I do intend to. It's a reboot of an old series, isn't it?
Yeah, Carl Sagan's
right.
Cosmos. Because Neil deGrasse Tyson was kind of like Sagan's protege. Yeah. I think Carl Sagan. Neil deGrasse Tyson has talked somewhere. It could be in the Cosmos. I think it is in the Cosmos series. He talked about how he was like a 19-year-old kid, and Carl Sagan got in touch with him, and he went to go, meet up with him and stuff like that. And when it was time for him to go home, he was sat at the bus stop, and it was like torrential snow, and the buses weren't running. And Carl Sagan just rolled up in his car and was all like, "Come back to my house, mate. I can't leave you here and stuff." And then there was obviously like friends from that day forward.
Oh no way!
And the reason why Neil deGrasse Tyson obviously did Cosmos is because he was such a close friend to Carl Sagan, and Carl Sagan's wife like kind of like gave him permission and held him out with it and stuff.
All right.
But yeah, fantastic series if you like science.
Oh yeah, I definitely do.
Which everyone should.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing when I was in school. they made science optional. Because, like, up to a certain point, you always had to do maths, science, and English, which makes sense. But then they were like, oh, if you don't want to do science, you can do photography. Why? Like, I'm not shitting on photography. I still think it's a good enough profession and everything. But I think science is fundamental.
Definitely. I'm not going to be a Nazi about it and say everyone should be a scientist. And
no, but you should have a basic understanding of physics and biology. Having a basic understanding of how your body works is majorly important.
Yeah, it should be. You should at least know the fundamentals of science, and a lot of people these days don't. And a lot of people from the previous generation didn't as well. Like my dad doesn't know fuck all about science.
Your dad's a funny guy, man.
My dad is a funny guy. But then there was this grace period where we did get to learn the fundamentals of science, and for me it wasn't optional. Science, we were doing our GCSEs, we still had to learn science.
Sorry,
so I don't know when that came into it.
Yeah.
But it's a very fundamental it's not even a skill, it's knowledge you need.
Yeah,
the way I see
I hope at least at a primary school level they still do science. Like, I wouldn't know, but no, you don't get to choose what you do in, I think, primary school. So
English shouldn't. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I really enjoyed English, and I was very good at it. I wrote a lot of my own little tiny novellas.
Yeah.
But like, I suppose you can maybe take that out of the curriculum. But maths and science, they're so essential. People need to learn it because the way I see it, right? And it's not the way I see it. It's just the fact, the way it is. Science is about life. It's about everything. It unravels the mysteries of everything.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing in life that isn't down to science.
If you were a conspiracy theorist, you could say that governments are trying to keep
us dumb.
Keep children uneducated about the world so they don't start to look at the bigger picture, sort of thing.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do think they don't want us to be hyper smart.
We know a couple of major conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. America has mass shootings every other Wednesday.
Yeah, like the Vegas one recently.
Did you ever notice? Well, obviously I've noticed you live in America, but did you know that every time there's a mass shooting, gun prices and ammo prices go up, and skyrocket?
No way.
Yeah, bit weird, ain't it?
Apparently, I read recently that because of the Las Vegas thing, a lot of British people were like, "Oh, why do they even allow guns? It's so stupid." I don't know why I'm putting that impression. That's a completely normal thing to wonder about.
Yeah.
But Americans backfired with, England has a terrorist attack once a week and they don't have weapons to protect themselves. What? Once a week?
No.
It's like 4 times a year or something at least.
And I won't even call them terror attacks. For a terror attack, you've got to at least be terrified. 4 guys jump out of a van with knives, you're like, fuck off, mate, this is London.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't London.
This is
so far north.
We couldn't be further. Well, we could if we weren't in England, but...
and most of the terror, we've only had 2 or 3 very successful terrorist attacks in England. There was that whole bus bombing thing. I think that's the worst it's ever got.
Uh-huh.
And it was just one occasion. And all the other times it's just some dickhead in a balaclava with a knife or something. And half the time it never even works. Yeah,
most of the time it's called a terror attack when it isn't really, or a suspected terror attack, which is enough for the newspapers to be terrorists.
I don't listen to news anyway.
No,
I mean, probably about as conspiracy nut as I get is that I believe the media is obviously. I mean, it's not even. I'm going to say it's pretty much clear cut that the media is run by the successful billionaires that own the media.
Yeah.
If I was a billionaire who had the control of 10 news channels and I did something stupid or there was something that affected my business, I'd probably be like, "Yo, don't report on that."
Yeah.
And not that I'm a bad person, but the power's there, the option is there. Of course, you're going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't listen to the news or the newspaper. The newspaper's worse.
I think, a lot of people think a lot of the stuff that goes into media is to control our minds and the way we think. And I don't think it's that crazy. I think it's just they see an opportunity to make money and then they dramatize it to maximize profit. I
don't think it's as extreme as people like to make it out, but I do think there is something there, but not. It's not like everything's thought by some genius in a room somewhere just to make us think one thing.
Yeah,
I do think when Michael Jackson died, it was like 24/7, like for 2 weeks, reporting about Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't even any new information. It was the same shit over and over again. It was like recorded and then replayed over and over and over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in those 2 weeks, things were happening around the world that were much more fucking terrifying and upsetting than Michael Jackson dying.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy who probably touched children,
Yeah.
but no one wanted to fucking admit it because, he made great music, so it must be alright.
Yeah.
Fucking dickheads.
It's weird to put that much respect on. It's still a human. It might have done some things people were impressed by.
No one thought Rolf Harris was a fucking pedo. And
Did he turn out to be one?
Yeah,
I remember he was in
did prison time and stuff.
Oh,
didn't he?
right, okay.
My brother-in-law told me for years and years that someone he knew reported to the police that Rolf Harris was a pedo or something like that. Or he knew someone in the police force who knew Rolf Harris was a pedo or something like that, right?
Right.
And I was like, fuck off, it's Rolf Harris. He's not even like Australia's sweetheart. It's like the Earth's sweetheart. And then it turns out,
what it is here?
Turns out, it's fucking, was it 10 to life, you fucking pedo.
Crazy.
But yeah, then it turns out he did. Fiddle kids.
Yeah.
I don't know how Savile got under the radar though, mate.
It was just that time, I think. There's a
lot
lot of footage that came out from that time with really creepy.
It's not that the footage came out. It was always there. It's just one looked at it and thought, he's touching that kid on stage. That's a bit weird.
And then somebody comes out and goes, "Hey, I was touched by Jimmy Savile," and they were like, "No, let's look at the footage." And they watch like an hour's worth, and they're like, "Shit."
It's just, they were like, "Oh, he's quirky. That's what he does." What? Touching kids is quirky now? I'll fucking tell that to the next pedo I meet. Like, don't worry about touching kids, mate. It's quirky. It's acceptable. Fucking. Have you noticed how like popular people from like the 80s and 70s they're all into something really dark and strange.
Yeah.
You got Polanski who fucked kids. Fucking Savile fucked kids. Rolf fucked kids.
I think it was just a weird world.
It's because where it was like the birth of like. Super fame, and because they were making so much money for their investors like BBC and that, they kept it quiet.
Well, there's that and power. It was like the first time you could get so much power without being like a king or something.
Yeah. Fucking sick world, mate.
It's the second time we've talked about pedos on this podcast. People will start thinking things.
Just call it the pedocast.
Pedocast.
We can just start catching predators, mate. Did you ever see that thing that was floating around Facebook where some chavvy thug bastards, like there were two of them.
I wanted to talk about this. I didn't know if we should.
Why not?
Well, we had a weird debate about it, and I think some people think that we're on the side of pedos just for our points of views.
I'm not on the side of any of them.
No.
Like, there's ways to do things.
I just think both sides are in the wrong. The pedos more so, but also these pedo hunters just getting fame from
just basically
entrapment, basically.
Yeah, it was. It were two chavs, right, whose egos were bigger than they should be, right, and they thought it was down to them to get justice and revenge and stuff like that. And first, like, it was entrapment, and entrapment's a really grey area that I just don't agree with.
Well, we have a lawyer friend who we asked about it, and he said the police aren't allowed to do it because of the position they're in, but as long as you're not law enforcement, you're allowed to entrap people. And it's just a loophole that the police use to get around that.
Crazy, though, because, like, if I had a fucking, like, a Snickers bar, right, and only I've got it, and I leave it on a table somewhere, right, and just, like, give you, like, some subliminal messages as a Snickers there, and you go and take it, you might never have wanted to take it in the first place. Like, it would have been, you might not have woken up that day thinking, right, today I'm going to steal Ash's Snicker bar.
Steal Ash's Snickers.
Steal Ash's Snicker bar, right? But because I put it in your path, I'm effectively manipulating you to do it. I'm manipulating you to commit a crime, and that's what the entrapment does. It's just
a lot of the pedos that they found were people who clearly had mental disabilities, and probably really a lot.
It seems like, right?
They would message them online and be like, "Oh, hey, baby," and stuff. They would pose themselves as a 13-year-old girl or whatever that was massively up for it, asking them to come out and come meet me.
It seemed like they approached these pedos, and it also seemed like it was their first time ever doing something like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was very. I mean, they shouldn't be doing stuff like that anyway, obviously. But then, like, those two guys, who the fuck do they think they are? It's not up to them.
Yeah.
If they think they've found a pedo online, report it to someone who can actually do something about it.
Yeah.
All they did was film them, get aggressive, and beat them up and shit like that.
Yeah, pushing that guy into the bus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it clearly had mental disability.
Yeah.
And most of the ones that in fact, I haven't seen one where it seemed like a normal, like, sane guy.
I don't think it is normal at all. I think because the procedure at the moment is you find a pedo, you lock him up, done.
Yeah.
I think it should be a bit more, not that they deserve any, kindness towards it, because it is a bit of a sick thing to have, but, like, we should at least recognise that maybe there's something wrong with the head.
I think if they've done something to a small child, then fucking lock them up, dirty bastard, scum of the earth, keep them away.
I think lock them up, but also maybe...
if they've shown intention of it, then maybe they're, like, locked in their childhood or something.
Yeah,
something wrong with their head, and
must have
to
happened.
themselves, they're 8-year-old boys or something.
It's no coincidence that kids that were, molested end up being molesters and stuff like that. I mean, it's not always, but it's very, very high chance.
Yeah.
I think it's just more beneficial to understand how that part of the brain works, what's making them do this and stuff, because then you can predict it and, and then, or not predict it, or just, like, when it does happen, you're better equipped to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it should be like that for all mental illnesses. I don't think it should be just, paedophiles. But because like the way we treat mental illness at the moment, it's like something to be shunned. Mm-hmm. Like depression, I think can be a mental illness. Yeah. Like, you get some dickheads like, oh, I'm depressed just because like my favorite band broke up. When it's like, fuck off, mate. But then you get people that are depressed for no reason at all, and it's a very scary thing to have.
Yeah, it's like a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, and it just all you get is like, oh, have you ever just tried being happy? Have you ever tried cheering up?
Yeah, it's
like it's not that fucking simple, mate.
Yeah.
It's like saying someone with a broken leg. Have you ever tried just not having a broken leg? Like, just walk it off. You're fine.
We had an interesting conversation about something like this before, where I was just thinking about sociopathy one day.
Yeah.
Probably having a big shit. That's where I do most of my thinking. And I was thinking, it's just generally widespread acceptance that sociopaths are assholes.
Yeah.
And if you find out someone's a sociopath, or someone makes it very clear that they're a sociopath or psychopath, oh, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Sociopath or psychopath does something, and they can't in court be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a sociopath, and then get off on grounds of like mental disability or whatever.
Yeah.
There's not that I don't know, apathy. I mean empathy.
Yeah.
Towards sociopaths and psychopaths who have something wrong with their head that doesn't make them do these things, but gives them difficulties understanding the problems.
Well, I think that the difference is sociopaths can't control their urges and stuff like that. I think psychopaths are the ones that are more manipulative, and they can pre-think all this stuff, and they're more
premeditate everything and plan it out.
But like, I don't think it's an illness. I think it's a mental advantage, mate. If you, I mean, look at all the CEOs of all the biggest businesses in the world, and they'll all have psychopathic traits. Yeah. It's just a known fact that the more successful you are, the more likely it is that you're a psychopath, because like you don't have empathy, so you're willing to step on the little people to get a leg up and become more powerful and
you're
stuff.
willing to do what it takes, basically.
Exactly. So it's more of an advantage, kind of.
Yeah.
Sociopaths can get fucked though.
I just thought that was weird. One day I was thinking...
Yeah, because it's the media, man. You think of psychopaths, right? And you're like, oh yeah, Dexter.
Yeah.
He's a psychopath. He killed people.
Well, that's the only way the word psychopath is generally used, is murder and shit like that.
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter.
I think psychopaths should be like celebrated as the next step in evolution, mate. We should be putting them on pedestals. We should be giving them celebrations and ceremonies.
To a certain degree, you're right, it is like a next step in evolution, because at the moment there's some social constructs that we have that are just holding the whole human race down.
Exactly, and it's not like psychopaths are incapable of loving something, because, I mean, look at all the CEOs that are psychopaths. They've got like children and stuff like that, and people they care for.
Obviously, they care for their business as well.
Exactly. It's just, I mean, I don't think it should be, the whole world should be exclusively psychopaths, but I do think that, it should be a nice even mix. You do need the people that do have a lot of emotions and stuff like that, and then you need the people that don't to like lead the rest of them.
To be logical.
I fucking hate when I get into an argument with people and they're just thinking emotionally, and I'm like, yeah, but logically.
Yeah, no, that's something I deal with a lot as well.
there's this guy, right? Name any names? Probably because I can't remember it. He's like a friend of the family. I'm doing air quotes, like.
Right, yeah.
Rarely talk to him, right? But his son got threatened by some Asian lads once, right? And they had a knife. So this guy.
By the way, when you say Asian in England, you don't mean
Chinese or anything.
Yeah, you mean
Arabs.
is it Middle Eastern?
Middle Eastern Asians, yeah. Arabics, stuff like that. So they threatened him with a knife, and he goes running to his dad, right? And him and his dad break into this person's house, and there was a guy like asleep on the couch or something like that, and these two guys had hammers, right? And apparently he slammed a hammer down on the couch to make a point, but they ended up hitting this guy's head and caving it in, right? The guy's alive.
By accident.
And so rightfully so, he goes to prison. But all my family and all his friends and stuff were saying, it was an accident, he shouldn't have gone to prison. I'm like, he fucking broke into this guy's house with a weapon, clearly with the intent to...
Just breaking into his house is enough
exactly.
to go to prison.
It doesn't matter if he was intending to cave the guy's head in, right? You break into a house with a weapon, it's just the next fucking logical step. The next thing that happens is you've accidentally hurt someone. Accident, air quotes again. And they were all fucking, like, just being really emotional about it. It was like, but he's a great guy. I'm like, clearly not. He caved some guy's head in.
Is the guy alive?
I think so, yeah. Wow. Yeah, and now the guy's out of prison and he's fine. Everyone, like, you know, saying, oh, it's bullshit that he went to prison, man. And it's fucking, it wasn't. It was not bullshit. He broke into the guy's house, caved his head in, prison. It's just...
It makes sense.
It makes sense logically.
Yeah, logical, yeah.
Like, if I was friends with a guy, I'd still be like that. I'd be like, mate, I love you, you're my friend, but you're going to prison, mate, and you deserve it.
Yeah.
You can be logical. I fucking hate people that just can't think logically.
Yeah.
Because that's how you end up with stupid decisions, and you end up doing things like caving someone's head in. You're too emotional. If you just step back logically and like, do you know what? This isn't an issue for me. I'm going to call the police. It'd been solved.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus, mate.
So, you reminded me of something when you said that this kid got threatened by a group of Asian lads. This happened to me in school. I had this girlfriend at the time who was very touchy-feely, and she was always stuck to me and stuff. And this...
I remember.
Like, I got a lot of shit about it, and I was just kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll hold my hands in the air here. This was my fault. This whole event was because of me. But, yeah, so this guy walked past, and he was like, get a fucking room. And I was like, oh, that's it, I've had enough. So I just charged at him, pushed him into the wall. I don't know, edgy fucking team, whatever. And then I swear to God, he shouted something in the air. I don't know what it was, but like 5 more of them turned up,
descended upon you,
and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was getting like punched in the head and kneed in the face and shit for like 5 minutes straight, and there was just a crowd of people stood around watching, like, "Oh, it's a nice lunchtime entertainment." My girlfriend was screaming, and one of my friends was holding her back because obviously you don't want her getting punched in the face as well. So
I want to get him punched in the face. She was a bad person.
So yeah, like I don't know, I blacked out. And I woke up with like blood streaming down my face. My eye had swollen up really badly.
Correctly, you blacked out so hard that some of that black had just swollen up onto your eye.
Yeah,
big black eye.
One of the teachers woke me up, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." Just delirious. Like, I think I remember asking for something.
Just like 5 more minutes.
I asked for something that was like completely irrelevant, and it was like when I woke my girlfriend up, and she's like, "No, I don't have any more washing machines."
Boobies.
Yeah, or boobies. She said that once. Weren't we watching it?
Yeah, we were watching it.
And she woke up and just went, "Boobies." I was like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, that happened, and she was walking me off to go see a nurse, and my girlfriend was running after me, being like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is really annoying. My head hurts. Can you stop asking me if I'm okay?" So I was sat in one of the technology rooms, which I think they call it workshop in America.
Yeah.
Just bleeding on the floor, just watching blood drip on the floor, and so one of the teachers there was called Mr. Walker.
I remember him.
He was a bit of a knob. He started a big fight with my dad at one of
the scarred lip. When he also called Mr. Walker or something.
I think we had 2 Mr. Walkers. He was a maths teacher.
There was a tall one, wasn't there, with he had scarred lip because he was a rugby player and someone like fucking cleated him in the face.
I don't remember this.
And then there was, I think there was a shorter, fatter one.
This particular one
Was he tall?
I think so. Yeah, he was a maths teacher, and he ended up being the vice principal.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever.
I think the same guy. You don't remember the scars on his lip?
No, but I don't really remember his face either.
Okay.
So he came up and he was like, "It's okay, we know who it is. We got him on security camera. Like, I've gone to speak to him," and he showed me a picture as well just to make sure that I was on the same page. He was like, "It was this guy, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was being honest. I was like, "Yeah, I charged at him. I started the fight. I just didn't expect to get beat up so badly." But yeah, my mum was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna get the police involved," and I was like, I don't really want to. And like for 5 days, she kept asking me, and I was like, no, I don't want to. And then I don't know why. Just one time, I was like, would I get money for it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, shit, call the police. So we did. This woman came over. You'll love this bit. She was like inspecting the wounds on my face and taking notes and stuff. And she was like, oh, your eye's not normally that swollen, clearly. And she goes, have you always had that swollen bit on the end of your nose? And my mum just lost her shit laughing. She was like, yes.
I'm surprised she didn't take one look at him. I was like, Jesus Christ, your head, mate. They must have done a right number on you. It's massive.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker was an alright teacher for me. Like, whenever I got... Because I used to wear, like, darker colours. My hair was longer. I listened to heavy music in school. And I got bullied for it. It was always, like, really understanding. Like, you know, you shouldn't be bullied just because you've chosen different, you know, lifestyle choices and whatnot. And it was always really nice to me.
The reason I didn't like him was because he was the head of the... We sort of had grades 5 to 1 for each subject.
Yeah.
And 1 was, like, the smartest kids in each subject.
Yeah.
And I'm not smart at maths. I can't do maths. It's really difficult. I was always behind in lesson. Like, this was before we started skiving school as well. So I never knew what was going on. I was always behind. I was always trying to ask somebody to help me with, like, homework from 2 months ago. Meanwhile, they're doing a completely different subject. So I kept asking him to just drop me down a grade. Just let me go in the second... whatever, and he kept saying no, and he kept saying no, you can do this, Connor, stick around, and it was like really frustrating me and stressing me out because I just couldn't figure out all this maths. So yeah, I didn't like him for that. I don't know why he always started.
I think that's worth not liking him. Like, he obviously wanted to just make sure you were doing your best, push you to be better than.
Well, I can respect that now, but at the time,
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, whenever we had like, what was it called? There was this, like, twice a year, the parents would come in and talk to your teachers.
Teacher thing. Parents' Day, something like that called, isn't
it? Every time my dad went, he'd start a fight with Mr. Walker. Even if I didn't need to talk to Mr. Walker, I'd just turn around and be fighting with Mr. Walker.
My parents never went to those, so I'd always have to go myself. And I'd just walk in the classroom with whatever teacher I'm supposed to see that time, you know, for the lesson. And I'd be all like, before you say anything, I know you're going to say that I'm really intelligent, I get my work done, only when I'm not being distracted. I'm easy to be distracted and whatnot. And they were like, that's pretty much it. And I was like, all right, see ya. Then I got on the next one, giving the exact same speech. And then I'd be done in like 20 minutes and I'd go home.
Yeah. Well, my dad wasn't allowed to go anymore because he kept fighting with Mr. Walker.
Surprised your dad didn't just pick him up and throw him out of the window.
Yeah. And my mum always put work first, so she wasn't going to come home from work early to go to this thing. So eventually I had to go with my older sister, which, you know, that was fun. Who went to the same school, so all the teachers were like, oh, hi, oh, I remember you, bitch.
If I took my sister to those, they'd be like, no, I remember you, you fucking bitch, get out.
So going back to my story.
Yeah.
The policewoman was like, okay, I'll look into this, I'll contact the school and see what they say and everything. And then she came back to the house like a week later and she was like, oh, apparently the cameras weren't working.
Oh.
And I'm like, hang on a minute. Mr. Walker came specifically to me and said he knows who it is because he saw him on security camera. So how the security camera's not working? So I tried to speak to Mr. Walker about it and he was like, no, they weren't working. And I'm like, what? But obviously nobody takes you seriously when you're a kid, so they don't hear you out and they just leave. So
No. I started out in the top sets for all my lessons. But because
That's what it's called, set.
Yeah, like set 1, set 2, set 3, and all that shit, all the way down to 5. 5 was where you put all the problem children and dumbest cunts.
Yeah.
But because I was super intelligent for a kid my age, right? But because I was such a problem child, I was causing problems left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
They just kept dropping me down a set, like, oh, I'll let that dickhead handle that Ash. He's a fucking asshole, as that kid. And then I'd fuck them over, and then they'd be like, eventually I got dropped down to set 5 for all my subjects. And then once I was there, I got even worse because I was like, there's nowhere else for me to go, dickhead. It was a really fun time. Probably shouldn't have done it in hindsight. Like, thinking back now, I should have knuckled down. But where's the fun in that? I made so many teachers cry and walk out of the classroom.
Yeah. For
like a whole year. Didn't even have an English teacher because I made the first one and like quit within like the first month. I was going back to school, and we just had supply teachers every fucking week. But I'd make them leave after like 2 days because I just bullied the shit out of them.
I remember I was in set 1 for English, and I was like best friends with the teacher there. She was called Mrs. Anderson or something. She's like she'd sit down with me and we'd talk about like really intelligent shit, like how time is just a human construct and it's not actually a physical thing, but we follow it all the time.
She wanted the D.
She was like 50.
50-year-old women can have the D.
But yeah, she really liked me, and because when we were all reading a book and she'd be like, okay, you read this chapter, I'd get through a chapter in like 10 minutes, whereas everybody else would take 10 minutes, would take like 30 minutes to get through one chapter. And that really annoyed me as well, because they'd take so long to read one fucking sentence that I can't read that slow. So I'd read 3 chapters in the time it took them to read one, and then the teacher would be like, okay, Connor, can you read the next chapter? And I'm like, I've already fucking read it. So I got to go back and read it out.
Just read it from memory, like, yeah, sure, dual reading as well. Like, you're reading it out loud from your brain whilst reading a completely different page.
But
do you remember sorry, I cut you off, but like, do you remember that super tall female teacher? She was like 6'5", mate. I think she was a music teacher at start. She left pretty early, but she came back as like, what do they call them, invigilators or something for the fucking
yeah,
for the GCSEs and whatnot. And she'd just walk up and down the hall, mate, her head barely scraping. She was so tall, mate. She makes you look short.
I don't remember her.
You just call Miss Jackson or something. She was super massive.
Right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the English teacher. So I did my English test, and we'd done loads of pre-tests, like, which were, they just test you on old tests to see what kind of grade you'd get, so they can project it. And I was projected an A every time, A star or whatever. And then I went to do the test, and while I am arguably an intelligent person, I'm also the dumbest cunt you've ever met. Like, I'm just so slow, and so much stuff goes over my head. So we did all these pre-tests, and every single one of them, there was a side A and a side B every single time, but it just didn't register with me. So when I did the actual test, I did side A, and I was like, fucking hell, that was fast. And sat and doodled for half an hour. Turns out there was a side B, which I didn't do, so I only got a C in English. And I went back and I told her, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And nobody has ever been that disappointed in me in my entire life. She never spoke to me again. And I got moved down a set. And the teacher whose set I got moved down to, I asked him if I could retake the test. And he kept saying, no, you don't need to, C's good enough. And I'm like, what?
What a dickhead.
Also, no, you won't say this in a second. Every time I was in that class, he wanted to talk to me about you. Which, you were like best mates with him, always talking about guitar and shit with him.
Oh, I think, was he like bald?
Yeah, he was bald, yeah.
I think he died, mate.
No way.
He always, I don't know why, I didn't like him, right?
Alright, okay.
I didn't like any teacher, but like he liked me, he liked talking to me about guitars and a lot of stuff like that.
He always tried to talk to me about guitar, and I'm like, I don't fucking play.
But yeah, he used to give me this fucking lecture all the time. Everyone really, right? It was like how fit he was and stuff, like he's really healthy. And then I found out like three years after leaving school that he fucking had a heart attack and died.
Oh my God.
How fucking pissed off must he been like just laying on the floor clutching his chest like, I thought I was healthy.
Oh Jesus.
I told all those people now I'm not like a right dick.
Did you ever have Mr. Broadbent? He had a coffee machine at the back of his class, so his classroom always smelled of coffee.
Yeah, he'd let me have coffee every lesson.
No way. Yeah. He had a guitar on top of the lockers, and he'd just whenever like people were talking too much, he'd pull his guitar down and then sing a song about how people are talking too much. Just like a really angry song on his guitar.
I'm pretty sure I broke a few strings on that guitar.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
He let me play it, and I was showing off, and I was just playing as fast as I can, like just random scales, like up and down, like super fast, just to show off. And I just heard this blink blink, and like 2 strings had broken.
No way.
I was doing bends and all sorts.
Didn't you do that to my guitar? Like
Yeah,
we just restringed it and then
I don't know. I don't think we restrung it.
restrung it.
But
I sound like an idiot.
he did have an acoustic guitar that was manky as fuck, and had graffiti all over it, and it was like splintering and all
It
sorts.
didn't have graffiti on it, just all the scratches and the paint.
No,
peeling
I'm pretty sure
off.
Rhiannon had written all over it in pen, in like ballpoint pen.
Oh, right, okay.
I remember that distinctively. Because it proper upset me. I was like, who the fuck can do this to a guitar? Majestic beasts they are.
Do you remember when she laid your
she
electric
scratched.
guitar on top of my electric guitar and it scratched a huge scratch in the back of yours?
Yeah. But yeah, your dog had just jumped over the fence, or someone left the gate open and your dog ran off. And so just stood in your kitchen, just strumming like A minor.
You were going, this is a happy note, and you were like, don't worry, she'll come back. And then this is a sad note, she's going to get hit by a car.
I was just playing like a C major and then going down to an A minor. And just saying she's never gonna come back, and then like go up to a C major, like, but maybe she might come back.
Yeah.
And then on one A minor strum, I just fucking broke one of your strings. I don't know which one it was.
I'm pretty sure it was the smaller one because it was broken for ages.
The thinnest one, the E. I think, well, I broke your E string. My favourite thing to say when I was playing guitar was I broke a G string while fingering a minor.
Yeah.
A minor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I can't remember who first told me that, but I loved it.
I've told a few people it, but it never goes down as well as it did with me.
Because you're just not a musician.
Yep. Or because I just, it's not really the best place to tell things like that in the workplace.
Why not?
Or to your fucking university tutor.
You should have heard some of the jokes that I was telling my manager at Victoria Hall.
Yeah, but she was chill as fuck, though.
She was. So we got on the subject of rape once, right? And I just turned around to her and I said, "It's not."
This podcast coming to.
And I just said to her, like, "Listen, it's not rape if you tickle her. You can't say no if you're laughing."
Fuck's sake.
And that made her laugh a lot. Yeah,
She didn't say no.
She was super chill. Yeah, I just walked over, like tickling fingers, like, ah.
Jesus.
I also told her an amazingly old joke where I was all like, also, it's not gay if you beat them up afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. It's not funny to me anymore.
No.
So I went to cinema.
Did you?
Yesterday.
Did you?
No. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday.
Okay.
Went to see Kingsman Golden Circle.
Is it good?
No.
Oh.
It's alright.
Did you watch the first one?
Yeah, I fucking love the first one.
It was sick.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's alright. It's got some good moments, some brilliant fight scenes. Obviously,
Yeah.
It's just too long.
Right.
And it's obviously not as good as the first one. I don't know what it is about sequels, just not living up to the first one.
I don't know if it's mostly our fault for, like, when you watch a really good movie, you're like, oh, that was sick, I can't wait for the second one. And
Yeah, it's got to be better. And
you've built up all this that hype, and then it comes out, and it might not. If you watch both of them in the same night, they might be just as good as each other.
Yeah.
Which is also what I blame people, now a lot of people hate fucking Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
I blame that fucking phenomenon, because, like,
the second one was so good.
the second one was brilliant. The third one is also brilliant, but because it was in the shadow of the second one, it just seems like it's much worse. It's not. It's a really good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Kingsman because it felt like a hybrid of James Bond and Austin Powers.
I was going to say that. I was thinking that in the film because I was trying to explain to my mum what it was, because I swear I've seen the first one with her, but she didn't remember what it was. So I was trying to explain it to her, and she just didn't get it the whole time.
Yeah.
And then while I was watching the film, I was like, oh, it's totally like a current generation Austin Powers film. And then we were leaving, and her and my stepdad said, oh, I didn't expect it to be like that. I thought it'd be an action film. And I was like, fuck.
It's a bit weird to say because, like, James Bond's still popular, but it's like...
I don't. I think the old ones are better because the cool thing about James Bond for me as a kid was all the gadgets they had, all the cool toys and stuff. And they just completely did away with them. Like there's one or two, but they're not as fucking cool.
I was never a super fan of James Bond, but I liked the new gritty edge that it had when what's his face took over.
I think I liked the goofiness of it. I think when it went serious, I was a bit like, that's killed it for me.
I mean, I don't like the new ones. They're just a bit boring in places.
Yeah.
But it's like if you took James Bond and reimagined it for today's market, like all the young kids and all that shit.
Well, spy movies was it's like at the moment we're in a generation of superhero movies. We've talked about that. There was a generation of spy movies.
Yeah.
And it's cool that generation is sort of being revived in Kingsman.
I like a good spy movie.
Yeah.
I like clever spy movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like clever movies in general.
Yeah.
Like we watched Death Note, didn't we, recently?
Oh my! Have we not? Did we not talk about that?
I feel like we may have, but like my point is that the anime was so clever.
Yeah.
Like I can't even pick one thing because like it was just all whenever they were moving against each other. It was very much like a chess game.
Mm-hmm.
L would do something, and then Raito-kun would do something to counter his move, and it was so thrilling throughout it all. And then this Americanized fucking adaptation comes out, and just got none of that initial charm or intelligence.
I heard that. I'm sure we've talked about this, and if we did, I think we mentioned
briefly touched on it.
I heard that Willem Dafoe didn't watch Death Note or even read a single manga of Death Note before doing the role of Ryuk.
Yeah.
So.
It's like what's his face? He played Elrond.
Oh fucking hell! I never remember his name.
Is it Hugo or something like?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't like. I don't think he read most of the script for like Transformers when he did. Was it Megatron's voice?
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
I think it was him. But Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was. He did the voice for something, and I think it was Transformers, and he said he didn't like it or anything like that. He just did it for the money. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't blame him. Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Money don't grow on trees.
Heard that song a lot lately.
It's a fucking great song, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much, and then Borderlands came out.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you fucking cunts! Why would you do that? Because I don't like Borderlands. I know it's a controversial thing because it seems like a lot of people really enjoy it. I just thought the humor was ham-fisted as fuck, and like it was like the second one was all like, oh look, memes here, memes there. We know the internet, guys. We're super cool and fun, like us.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck
that claptrap thing.
Off. Yeah, but you just referenced so many shit memes. I was like, for fuck's sake, memes are very. It's cool to like them a little bit, but like if you're proper diehard into them and you're like a fucking meme lord.
Also, it depends who brings a meme up. Like if you walk into a room and your mum is making some troll face meme or something, you just like hang your head. So when big corporations are doing adverts and throwing memes in there, it's just like, oh man, how
like
cringy is that?
Was it that Burger King one?
I don't.
There's an American Burger King commercial where, they basically like ripped off some shitty low class meme, and I think what they're doing was there was like, oh, there's different type of burger people out there. There's like this guy. And then there's this girl, and then it got to this one guy, and at the bottom it said, the memer, and he was all like, eating a burger like a boss. And I was like, oh my God. It's like, memes can be very fun, right? If you understand how, like, what it is about them. Like, you can't just fucking throw a meme into a conversation. It's stupid.
I've just had a revelation.
Go on.
I can bring down the company I work for if I do all the marketing with fucking memes in it. Just super cringy marketing, like through and through.
Yeah, but like
I'd never get past manager though.
If you're some sort of senior at a company somewhere and you're all sat around a table discussing potential ad campaigns, stay the fuck away from memes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a double-edged sword, memery.
Yeah.
Memology.
Well, it's cool to hate memes as well. Like,
I think there's a very brief period, right,
where it's okay to like a meme.
Yeah.
But when it's like 2 years later and you're still making that same joke,
yeah,
and everybody's doing it, it's not funny anymore.
Also,
just fucking quit with it.
some memes are really forced and it's ham-fisted to fuck. Like the oh, you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, but have you ever heard of? And it's like, fuck off. It was not even funny the first time.
But the thing about that is, right, maybe for a majority it was funny the first time, the second time, the third time.
Maybe.
But the fact that that meme came to life and then died in the space of 2 weeks because Facebook was just inundated with those fucking memes.
It's ridiculous. I like the classic memes, the ones that still live up today.
Yeah. What we were saying about using a meme so much that it loses all its effect and it's just not funny anymore, it's just cringy. On the other side of the coin, if that happens, you can start using the meme ironically and then give new life to it, which happens quite a lot.
The best way to use a meme is ironically.
Well, yeah, definitely. But that kind of shit happens with us quite a lot, where we'll use something ironically and then it's just every day. Like,
it's every day, bro.
We had a friend, Dilly Dugan.
Dilly Dugan.
And he was from Leeds, and every sentence he said ended with the word fucking mate.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, mate. Alright, mate. Just every single sentence. So we started mocking him, just putting mate on the end of every sentence, and now we do it all the time.
Prime example of us like using something ironically and then it just becomes a part of our vernacular. In it. We said in it.
Well, it was a big chav thing.
Yeah,
back in the day.
chavs always like, doing that with the fingers and then going in it,
bro, in it.
And then we started mocking them and just saying in it at random intervals.
And now
stuff.
it's like,
how would you say it? Like,
major
oh mate,
part of
have you seen this movie? It's brilliant. And we just go in it.
yeah. Bro as well.
Bro.
That was like a douchebag thing. Yeah, bro.
I think it's more of a term of endearment for me.
Yeah, same. Like, bro. That's what. Because we'll call people we don't know mate just out of respect.
Yeah.
Like I do at work, everyone's mate.
Yeah.
But when you like become good friends with someone, you start going, yeah, bro.
Yeah, or bruv.
Yeah. No.
I say bruv a lot.
Bruv, I just reserve for you and Danny.
All right.
Because you're my bruvs in it.
Yeah, I don't call. In fact, I think you're the only person, or you and Danny, I say like bruv and call you a G and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyone else is just mate.
Like I found that if somebody does something for me and I really appreciate it, I'll say thanks, bro. Because it's just become such a term of respect for me. Like, if I want to show somebody I really appreciate what they've done, I'll just call them bro.
Sometimes as well, just to keep it fresh, I'll call you like breader or something like that.
Yeah, bread bin.
Your bread bin.
I forgot where I was going with it. So the reason I brought up the fact that I went to the cinema, I saw a trailer before the film. As you do at the cinema.
Yeah.
You remember a few weeks ago we were talking about Christoph Waltz with my girlfriend?
Yes, Christoph the Waltzer.
And we were talking about all the films that he was in and stuff, and we were like, oh, he plays a very specific character and stuff, and then she was like, no, hang on, have you seen this film that he's going to be in?
Yeah. And
we were like, no. Well, I have now seen the trailer for said film, and it looks both ridiculous and incredible. Okay?
What was the synopsis about?
Okay, so this is the future.
Okay.
We've learned how to shrink people down.
Oh, I vaguely remember this now. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. So,
did they use, was it like pills for shrinkage? Because I hear that's very bad.
No.
Like you grow tumours and stuff.
No, I don't think it is. I don't know. Is this a reference?
It's Rick and Morty, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Don't make me explain my jokes. They're not funny anymore.
Speaking of Rick and Morty, my sister, who goes on Tumblr quite a lot, found us a Rick and Morty fanfic.
Yes.
For the podcast. We'll have to say it for next episode because we're getting towards the end of this episode. But look out for that. Reason to come back. So the synopsis of this film, right? We can shrink people down, and it saves resources, it saves space, it solves overpopulation, but it's irreversible. So I think it's Matt Damon.
Okay.
And his wife, who I've seen in some other films, but I don't know her name. It might not be Matt Damon. I don't know. But yeah, so they're trying to decide whether to shrink down and join this, like, there's like a dome, a glass dome, and they've got this miniature village in it. There's just loads of miniature people living in this miniature world. And like, there's this cool bit in the trailer where they take the wedding rings off and stuff and put it in a keepsake box. And then later on, when they're shrunk down, moving in, this van comes across and the keepsake box is the back of the van. And there's a guy, like, pulling giant wedding rings out and shit. But yeah, basically, there was a bit where they were considering it and they were talking to this woman and she was like an accountant and she was like, oh, your $500,000 translates to so many million in this world, in the smaller world where resources are small as you know, so they have like mansions and live amazing lives and stuff. I'm sure there's some like twist and it gets dark and whatever, but it was a good trailer in that it didn't give away the story. It was just like, look at this cool concept for a film we've got, and I was like, yeah, I want to see that.
Is it like a comedy?
It seemed like kind of like a romantic comedy, which was weird to see Christoph Waltz in it, like just playing a normal guy, just being like, "You'll love it here."
Is it like one of those comedies where it's not like slap your knee, fucking laugh track type funny? It's more of like a dark sort of terrified humor.
No, I wouldn't say so. It's a very kind of rom-com style humor.
What's that movie we watched with Steve Carell in it where the world's about to end? Seeking a best friend for the end of the world or something.
Yeah,
like
that was a really cool.
Yeah, well, that was like, it was kind of like a weird comedy. Like it wasn't super obvious. It was very subtle comedy.
It didn't seem like that. I mean, I'll show you the trailer once we're done with this podcast.
Sure.
But yeah,
Christoph Waltz, what a dude!
It was an awesome actor. We've already gone off about that. Right?
There's a movie that I watched.
Enemy.
I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Freaks of Nature. It's got Mackenzie Davis in it.
Right.
You don't know who she is, do you?
I probably do, but without a face to the name, I won't remember.
She's a super gorgeous, tall Canadian woman who I kind of like. I'm in love with her.
Okay. Well,
anyway, right.
Google her while you tell me this story.
The movie is quite ridiculously funny. It's about fucking zombies and vampires fucking fighting aliens, basically, right?
Oh, I know who she is. I've seen her in a few things, I think.
She's slamming. Anyway, this alien comes down, and there's an alien invasion, and the zombies, humans, and vampires have to work together to fight off the aliens, right?
What?
And it turns out the aliens aren't here for domination or anything. They want the resource. But the aliens voiced by Christoph Waltz, man, I swear down.
No way.
Yeah.
Was it a good film?
It's not a brilliant film, but it's like a funny sort of ridiculous comedy film.
A bit like Colossal.
Yeah, it felt like
I keep looking away from the mic. I'm sorry. I'll turn towards it.
It felt kind of satirical, in a way. But it was fun.
Yeah, a bit like what was that film with James Corden and his mate from Gavin and Stacey?
Oh, Lesbian Vampire.
Yeah, was it a bit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Best part, mate. Part of that movie that proper cracked me up is when there's this legendary sword you have to get that kills vampires. And he's digging it up and he just starts cracking out laughing.
Yeah.
And then the priest is all like, what is it? And he's all like, it's got a cock for an handle. And just starts laughing.
We should watch that tonight.
I don't know, I watched it a few months ago.
Oh, did you really?
It does not hold up.
Oh, that's a shame.
It was really bad. If you want to see boobs, let's go for it. But it's not that good. How did we get on a zombies and aliens on that?
Christoph Waltz, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about him a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like he should pay us to keep talking about him. So
it should come on the podcast, dude.
Let's get off that subject.
Come on, Christoph Waltz, get on the podcast. Get on the Pedocast.
Dragon's Dogma, mate. That's come out recently,
yeah.
I think. I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and I got a message from Amazon saying they couldn't dispatch, they'd email me when they can. Now it's coming at the end of the month, but then I googled it and it says Dragon's Dogma hits PlayStation. I'm like, so why ain't I got it? What the fuck's going on?
Are they doing digital first?
I was thinking maybe that's it.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Ow, cramp.
I'm looking forward to that. Ow. And then I don't know though, because if it comes at the end of the month, I'm not going to have long to play it before fucking Battlefront 2 comes out.
Oh yeah. I'll probably leave Battlefront 2 for a while just to make sure it's worth it.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Keep getting.
Because then there's fucking the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn comes out in November.
Yeah.
So,
well, my upcoming list. This is what I care about. Super Mario Odyssey, which comes out. It will already be out when this podcast goes out. Actually,
will it?
It comes out soon, but when this podcast goes out, it will already be out, and B, we will hopefully have a 0.5 episode out. For that game coming out, which will probably be released before this episode. So that's...
just don't think about it. Yeah. It'll break your brain.
And then Horizon DLC and everything else I don't give a shit about.
I don't know. There's a few things I'm looking forward to.
Excuse me. My balls are stuck to my thigh, mate. I had to do something.
You could have.
There's only so far I can outstretch my thighs.
The nicest thing, the politest and eloquent thing you could have done was waited until we'd finished here.
Dude, it's been an hour and 5 minutes and I've had a testicle stuck to my thigh, mate. I had to do something.
You could have lasted another 55 minutes at least.
55 minutes?
I'm playing with you.
You better be.
God of War, I'm looking forward to that. I like God of War.
Yeah, but when's that coming out? Don't tell me it's this year.
I don't know.
There's too much to buy.
Were you just talking about this year, right? I thought you were talking about, like, future-wise and in number of years.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I'm looking forward to.
I want to play Days Gone. I know you don't know the whole game, like... You're not sure it is, are you?
The one with the hordes of zombies?
Yeah. Like, I don't think you didn't seem impressed when I talked about it with you. But I'm looking forward to that. I like Studio Bend, whatever they're called.
Well, it'll be one of those games where you'll play it first, and then if watching you play it or listening to you talk about it makes me want it so bad, I'll buy a copy. And if I'm still kind of like meh, I'll just wait for you to be done with it, and then borrow it. Which was supposed to happen with Tomb Raider, but I still haven't borrowed it off you.
I forgot to bring that as well, mate. I'm sorry.
I finished Mario Rabbids.
Yeah, you let me that.
I give you that.
I didn't even play it.
Yeah, I don't imagine you would have. You should get into it though, mate. I know you probably don't care that much about the premise of the game, but the gameplay is actually really fun and very challenging as well.
I played it here, and it seemed really fun. I just didn't have enough time to get into it, and like, it's hard to get into games when we're both together. Yeah. Because we're just making jokes, and we'd rather be hanging out and talking rather than playing a game. So I just paid the most minimum attention to it that I could give it.
The last boss is insane. I posted about it on Twitter when I was fighting him, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is too hard." And then like half an hour later, I was like, "Never mind," kicked his ass. That was it. That was ages ago now. So when this podcast comes out,
fucking Last of Us 2 comes out next year apparently.
Oh my god! Forward to that. No way.
Yeah, there's a lot of games I'm looking forward to. It.
Oh, I do want to say I should probably headed the episode up with this, but we're not cutting out the idea of... I hadn't even discussed this with you, but shut up, it's my podcast now. Okay. We're not cutting out completely the idea of doing a podcast based on one singular subject, but I think if we're going to do something like that, we'll try and trim it down, just because when it's 2 hours long, it's a bit much, and keep it to 0.5 episodes. Then we can do, like, when a new game comes out, 0.5 episode.
If we wanted to do an episode with a theme, it could be a very broad theme.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if we wanted, like, we've already done the PlayStation one, but if we did the PlayStation one, instead of, like, just picking out our favourite games and stuff, we could have, like, included a lot of other things about PlayStation, like, games, whether they've sucked or, won at an E3 event, shit like that. It would have been much broader.
That's one of the things that, because I was listening to the movie one and then the PlayStation one, and I was like... just 2 episodes and it's already shown me that we found a formula and we're getting too comfortable with it. Like we were just writing notes on our phones and then not even pretending to segue between them. We were just like, okay, next on my list is, and there wasn't a nice flow to it and it was easy to just zone out and think about something else. So, well, I'd say we're coming towards the end of this episode now.
Okay, fair enough.
So, what do you think? Good formula? You like it? Yeah, I enjoyed that. I think that was... It was way more interesting than
less planning leads to more organic conversations.
Yeah, I feel like it was funnier as well. We were both into it more. We just that freedom to digress. Yeah, because that was something we were struggling with a lot before. We'd go off onto a subject that we wanted to talk about, but then we'd be like, "Oh no, we're going off track," and then we'd force ourselves back on to the subject, which would slow things down a bit.
So this was a very free episode. But on a scale of 1 to America, what would you rate it?
China.
Yeah. I shamelessly stole that joke from Letterkenny, by the way. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I don't know, because when we watched the latest season, we were
Have we ever watched a Letterkenny?
inebriated.
Have we ever done a dry run of Letterkenny without being high?
I have watched the first 2 seasons on my own, sober. So
No, I mean like when we first watched them.
no.
I think I initially I did, but then when obviously like I watched it with you first time, we were massively stoned.
Yeah. No, we've never watched it together sober.
Probably the best way. Sorry,
I need to watch season 3 again because that was really good.
I don't mean to bring up another conversation because you wanted to end it, so I'll let you.
No, it's fine. I don't want to pinch it off or
Prairie dogging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Letterkenny. It's it makes me want to smoke so bad.
I know. Whenever we're watching it, we go like through 2 packs of cigs. It's insane.
It's because of what's his name, Jared Keeso. Is that his name?
I don't know the actors' names, mate. I've never heard of them before.
Why are you so bad at like remembering actors' names?
I don't know.
Speaking of actors, have you heard about this movie with Idris Elba in it and some other woman? Some other woman. Idris Elba's a guy. I said that. Some woman whose name I've forgotten. Basically, like, I think the plane crashes in a mountain or something like that. I think it's called A Mountain
Oh
Between.
yeah, that looks really good.
I've not seen it. Right,
I've seen the trailer.
I've not seen the trailer or anything. Every time I hear about it, it's on the radio. I'm in the car and the radio's on, and I fucking hate the radio, so I don't even listen until I'm like, oh, Idris Elba, what's this movie?
No, I saw the trailer when I was in cinema. It looked really, really good.
Does it? Who's the actress?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person, mate.
I don't know.
And if you hadn't said Idris Elba, I'd have been like, oh, you know the guy who guards the rainbow in Thor.
Yeah, and I would have been like, oh, Heimdall.
Yeah. No, I knew his name. I just wanted to.
Idris Elba. He's so bad, mate.
I don't know. I remember characters more than actors, but I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't even know how I find out. Like credits, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I pay that much attention.
You just have a really good memory.
Yeah.
Really good at paying attention, which is something I'm not good at.
It's like it's so annoying, mate. It's like halfway eidetic. Like I would want it to just go the full way. I'd love to just remember everything I instantly see or find out.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a supervillain then. With my lack of empathy, I'd just take over the world. I'd be the emperor of the world.
Yep.
And I'd make you my little bitch.
Gladly. As long as it means
You be my court jester. You don't have
Gil Jester.
you won't have to be funny. All you have to do is stand there and we'd all point and laugh at your ginger face.
Yep.
Because when I'm emperor, we would phase gingers out.
That's just
You'd be
sure.
You'd be the last ginger.
What about when
on
I
the
start
planet.
going grey? Just kill me.
Dye your face ginger again?
Mate.
No, I'm sure we'll just make you standing in the court, grey as sin, and like grey as anything, and then we'll just laugh at your big head.
All right.
We'd bounce bowling balls off it.
Thanks.
Probably shouldn't be given any power, right? If that's my dream.
No, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Right.
I think you'd focus all your attention on how best to humiliate me. Probably get invaded by Russians while you're too busy focusing on my ginger
And they
beard.
only invaded just to get some like time with you, so they can make fun of you.
No, they come in with guns out and they're like, "Ah, look at funny ginger man."
No, the Russians. No one had invaded because I'm the emperor of the world, mate.
What about a coup of gingers?
That's easy. I'd just open up the drapes and then be like, and they'd fucking float off, and sprout wings out of the ginger asses and fly away.
I don't think you have a thing against gingers. I think you just have a thing against my face being ginger.
No, I don't have a thing against gingers. It's just
I've never understood that actually. Like when you're in school and people are like, "Oh, look at you, you're ginger," and it's like, "What? Haha, look at you, you're blonde."
I don't know. maybe it's because they got bad genetics.
What?
Genetically speaking, like,
Are you sure kids are thinking about genetics?
no, I'm pretty sure it'll be like some like evolutionary thing, right? It's just built in to hit people with bad genetics.
Yeah.
And like, because gingers go bald easier, and you know they can't absorb sun as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
They're ugly.
Well, it is a mutation in a way, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, everything is, but I mean, like,
Yep.
it's one of the bad ones because like you.
Mate, come on.
I read somewhere, right, that like a ginger loses hair faster than a regular person, so I wouldn't want to be ginger.
I've got a receding hairline. So.
Exactly, you ginger fuck.
I'm not actually ginger though. Can we just?
You have a ginger beard.
Just the fact that I want people to know that I'm not ginger makes me think, oh, maybe I do hate gingers.
No one hates gingers here.
No. We're all okay with
are
gingers.
friends.
I have a.
Just not in real life.
I've been blonde forever. My hair's darker now because I used to dye it when I was an edgy teen. But I have a ginger beard because my dad was Scottish. That's pretty much it.
You fucking Scottish prick.
Yeah.
Water.
Tastes like what was it? Tastes
like fuck all. You know, yeah, because he's like, you can get it from the tap, and it tastes of fuck all.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think, didn't I find that? Didn't it Limmy's show or something like
Yeah,
that?
I was showing it to my mum.
But
She didn't
Jingle
find
is
it as
our
funny as we do.
friend. It's my money. Kill Jester. That's it. Jester is dead. Well worth it, mate. Well worth it. Yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about.
No.
Do you?
No.
So I feel good about ending it here.
Yeah, cool.
Good experiment. Nice dry run of our new,
Dry system.
formless blob of a episode.
I liked it, mate. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot more than...
Do you know, like, the fucking blobfish that lives in the dark part of the ocean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was, like, my idea of it was, like, how it looks when it's under pressure, and it looks all nice and like a proper fish.
What? I didn't know this.
And then when you bring it up to the surface, it turns into a blobbish shit, because it's, it's not under pressure anymore. And that's kind of like what it came out, but it was like, it wasn't a bad thing, you know what I'm saying?
Like the reverse of a blobfish.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it was like like reversing a diamond. In my head, this episode was like a shiny, bright cut diamond, and then through some, tricky, evil science, it got turned back into a shitty rock, but like a good shitty rock.
What? Why not just not the reverse process? Why not just
because it wasn't? I'm trying to say it right. It got like unrefined. Like if you somehow
okay.
got a bag of sugar.
So what you're saying is, it's better because it's unrefined, but you can't find an example of something
listen to
that's...
like my metaphors, right? It's like if you got a bag of sugar and you slapped your hands together with the sugar in between and turned it back into a sugar cane, but a sugar cane that someone had chewed on, but it was still okay.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm coming up with funny shit to say now. I really liked the episode. I like how unrefined it was. It didn't feel premeditated. It felt organic.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It was very organic.
Let's organically end it here.
Yeah. It's like if pandas died out. I'm kidding. We'll end it here.
Fucking pandas. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate that, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.